Hello, this is Flurry Moon. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing more lost and canceled pieces of cute and nostalgic media. You guys seem to really like that last video, and so did I. Now, lost can either mean there are pictures but no videos, or there are no pictures, no videos, no proof of this happening, but people remember it. And canceled media is basically a project that was in the works but got canceled, and we found out about it, and now we want to know more. So that actually fits into our first topic, which is the Hannah Montana anime. Finding out about this was like the best thing that could have happened to me in that moment. Hannah Montana was arguably one of the most popular preteen sitcoms of the 2000s. I myself was a Nickelodeon kid, but even I knew the cultural significance of this show. I guess my equivalent was iCarly. If you don't know, the story surrounded the main character Hannah navigating her double life as a middle schooler by day, pop star by night. The series ran from 2006 to 2011, ending after 4 seasons and 1 movie. But what if I told you there was supposed to be more? Something a lot of fans don't know, a Hannah Montana anime was actually in the works in 2009. The project was in the hands of Toei Animation, who is actually responsible for a ton of iconic anime such as Dragon Ball, Lovely Complex, Zatch Bell, Sailor Moon, and One Piece. Imagine Billy Ray Cyrus in the early 90s magical girl style of Sailor Moon. Genuinely, unironically, I actually need this in my life. But this Hannah Montana anime adaptation was actually canceled before production and therefore was never even announced. So how do we know about it? I promise whatever you're thinking is not what it is. The first ever mention of Hannah Montana in the word anime in the same frickin' sentence was in 2010 in none other than a Dragon Ball Z forum post. The post was made by a user named Wasted Wisher, a supposed animator at Toei Animations at the Philippines location. Basically, Wasted Wisher was leaking some information on the new Dragon Ball project that was supposed to be included with a new video game. Anyway, in this post, he casually, in passing, just dropped that a Hannah Montana anime is in production, and everyone was like, hold up, what did you just say? The post, that is once again mainly supposed to be focusing on Dragon Ball, reads, "Most of the work will be for the key animators, but I certainly hope some of it trickles down to the in-between animators so I can get my hands on it. They've already passed around some scenes from a new Digimon and Hannah Montana series, and I still haven't been able to draw anything from these shows." A commenter was quick to point out that Hannah Montana is a live-action sitcom, but Wasted Wisher responded confirming that he was referring to an upcoming Hannah Montana anime series, and that production had actually begun. He states, "The project was given to Toei last year, but they wanted to see first which art style would suit it best. 4 different artists made the final cut, and I distinctly remember 2 short music videos being made, each using different art styles from 2 of the finalists. I suppose it's okay to talk about now since production is underway, meaning everyone will know about it soon enough in a couple of months or so." Well, he was wrong about that because this was scrapped and never mentioned, leaving us only with Wasted Wisher's post as proof that this even existed ever. Then, at a shockingly unshocking turn of events, Wasted Wisher is fired from Toei Animation. Obviously, this is because he was leaking a ton of info, and you can't just be doing that, you know? However, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even know this existed, so thanks? A lost media YouTuber by the name of L Supersonic Q, who, by the way, I highly recommend his channel if you're looking for other lost media content that isn't trying to scare the literal shit out of you. He began reaching out to not only Wasted Wisher, but another animator at Toei Philippines. Although we got more verification that this anime was supposed to happen and confirmed that animation stills did exist, Toei had become extra protective of their content since they had faced many leaks in the past, and we literally can't argue with that. Literally the only reason I'm talking about this is because of a leak, so... And this is where the story ends. I'm honestly a little surprised nothing new has come out of this, especially considering how popular this show was and the weird story of how it was leaked. I personally think Hannah Montana would translate very well into an anime. I can totally see it in the style of, like, that 2010s anime style, like Maid-sama. I just find it crazy that we have nothing. No pictures, no audio, no animation stills, no early 90s Sailor Moon magical girl style Billy Ray Cyrus. nothing. So this just leaves us with the question, why was it scrapped? Wasted Wisher seemed pretty convinced that this was happening. That's literally why he felt so comfortable speaking on it. I'm sure there's no crazy reason for this, especially considering Hannah Montana ended in 2011. So the fact that this was entering production in 2009, 2010, maybe they just felt like, what are we doing? The show was ending anyway. I doubt it'll happen, but I will still hold out hope that one day we'll see something. Moving on. Webkinz Jr. This topic came to my attention by an Instagram user by the name of Geckos Off the Wall, and I, as a big Webkinz fan back in the day, had never even heard of this. Webkinz Jr. was a spin-off site to the insanely popular and successful Webkinz. If you don't know, Webkinz is an online interactive game that allows you to play as your physical stuffed animal you can purchase in stores. The game was released in 2005 and is still going strong to this day. I actually recently bought a pink cat Webkin at this little store near me, and I swear to God it added like 4 months to my lifespan. Webkinz Jr. was released in 2009, and it was more targeted to the preschool age group. The intention was to make a more educational website for 3 to 6 year olds. I was a little older than this age demographic at the time, so that probably explains why I don't remember this. Just like its counterpart, Webkinz Jr. sold plushies in stores for kids to bring home and play with online. These toys had a much more soft plush fabric as opposed to the regular Webkinz that had all kinds of fur types. The junior plushies kind of remind me of like baby plushies, that really soft, simple design with like the soft pastel colors. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but ooh, you know what they kind of remind me of? The little stuffed animals that had the blankets like as bodies. I was actually shocked to see that Webkinz Jr. ran from 2009 to 2018. That's like a good amount of time. Although it's technically not lost media, a lot of people really miss their pets and logging into their accounts. As I was doing research, I was surprised to see how many people actually preferred this to Webkinz. So now I'm just jealous I never got to experience this. Maybe it's just because they were babies. But as you can guess, Webkinz Jr. is now no longer playable as of 2024. So I'd like to hear anybody's experience with this website because I'm very curious. Moving on, Onegai My Melody Lost English Dub. Literally one of my favorite anime ever, Onegai My Melody, or Please My Melody. This aired from 2005 to 2009, and it has its own spin on the whole magical girl trope. This series was actually Kuromi's debut as the series antagonist, and she is amazing. She basically causes all this trouble in their homeland, and she enters the human world. They send My Melody to the human world to go get her, and it is so fun. It is so cute. I love it. But it is only available in the Japanese sub, so you just read the subtitles. But supposedly, there was a Onegai My Melody English dub. Although the series was never aired in North America, supposedly an English version of the show was aired on Cartoon Network in the Philippines under the name My Melody. According to the Lost Media Wiki, the dub started airing on November 11th, 2008 at 7 p.m. Later airings began on weekdays at 12:30 p.m. as of May 2009. This is all so confusing to me. Like, why did it only air like a few times in the Philippines? Like, why not anywhere else? Why do we only have proof that it aired here? What is going on? Not only that, but supposedly there was a low quality clip of the English version on YouTube that got taken down. Why? Why are we doing this? I can find the whole Japanese sub on YouTube, but one clip of lost media, they're like, I'm taking that right out. However, we do have some information on the voice actors, with the voice of Kuromi in the English dub, Emily Wu Zeller, mentioning that it also aired on Animax Asia. As a massive fan of this show, it would be a huge find to get a hold of this dub. I would love to hear what My Melody, Kuromi, Baku, and all my favorite characters sounded like in English, especially considered I feel like the Japanese voice cast did such a good job bringing these characters to life. Anyway, like I said, at least last time I checked, you could watch the show on YouTube, and I highly recommend it. It's so cute. It's actually really funny and so unhinged at times, so definitely go do that if you want something cute to watch. There's also a Christmas episode, and I'm definitely going to be watching that on Christmas Eve. Anyway, moving on. Charlie Brown's Allstars. For some reason, I am like the most excited to talk about this because I don't know about you guys, but I loved these sports games. Charlie Brown's Allstars was a PlayStation 2 baseball video game set to release in 2007. The plot on the Lost Media Wiki reads as follows. After losing yet another baseball game, Charlie Brown meets his friend Linus, who introduces him to Mr. Hennessy, who owns a hardware store and is willing to help Charlie Brown and his team finally win a game. Does this not really make any sense to anyone else? Like, what do you mean he just meets a guy who owns a hardware store? And like, what does that have to do with baseball? Am I stupid? As a big fan of baseball in video games, such as the Wii Sports Baseball and a deep cut Mario Super Sluggers, does anyone remember this? I am kind of pissed this game never happened. I don't really care about Charlie Brown. I'm sorry. But hitting a home run as Snoopy honestly would have slayed. Although my first thought was that this probably would have been a really basic, shitty game, I was actually surprised to see how much was planned for this, including party games, a Simon Says like minigame including Lucy, and get this, over 70 playable Peanuts characters. I didn't even know 70 characters existed in this universe. In video games, like, if I see something that needs to be unlocked, especially if it's difficult to unlock, I am sat all day. Like, you will not see me. I will be sitting in front of my TV playing Charlie Brown's All-Stars for 10 hours straight just to unlock frickin' Snoopy. We know about the existence of this game because an advertisement for it was published on the back of an instruction manual for the PS2 release of Snoopy vs. the Red Baron. It features a release year of 2007 and a synopsis of the game mentioning helping Charlie end his 900 game losing streak. Jesus. It advertises, again, 70 characters with tons of unlockables, and even special abilities for each character. Like, this sounds like it was supposed to be pretty in-depth. Supposedly, the game was cancelled due to too much on Farsight's plate, which was the company that was making it, and unfortunately not enough staff. Girl, get me in the animation room. I can figure it out. I'm no artist, but I have a pretty sick drawing of SpongeBob on my fridge from like when I was like 7 or something. And although I spelled his name SpongeBob, I don't think this makes me any less qualified for the job. Let me in. So as for the media we actually do have surrounding the game, all we currently have is a photo of the advertisement, a render of Charlie Brown, and, the most interesting to me, actual footage of the game's menu. The clip shows the selection screen of what mode you want to play, including versus mode, championship mode, party games, options, and extras. You can then choose your team, including info on what position they play, and I'm assuming their fielding and batting skills. Of course, you can also choose what field you play on, and I'm unfortunately obsessed with this. Like, I'm so mad this didn't happen. Again, I just really loved these crossover sports games, like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I almost just hit myself in the face. Mario Sports Mix. When I'm playing those games, I totally feel like that one clip of Daisy and Peach going like, oh
yeah? Yeah?
Moving on. Hello Kitty Gameboy camera. This is so obscure and cool. I am so excited to talk about it. I would absolutely love to make a whole video dedicated to this product. Let me know if anyone would be interested in that. There's also some like creepy lore involved, so I would love to make a whole separate video about it. Anyway, the Game Boy camera, or the pocket camera in Japan, was released in 1998. This was an accessory you could attach to your Game Boy and use to take grayscale photos in which you could edit, share, and even print out using the Game Boy printer. The camera could even swivel, making a great way of taking selfies, which was like so ahead of its time. The camera itself is awful, but this was one of the first ever commercially available digital cameras, and it actually even held a Guinness World Record for the world's smallest digital camera in 1999. This, of course, has since been broken, but it still shows how innovative this was at the time. The Game Boy camera also featured the ability to play mini games, even giving you the option to edit your face from the pictures you've taken onto that of the characters, which is honestly so fun. The product came in 5 different colors, including blue, green, red, yellow, and the Japan exclusive clear purple. There were actually a few special releases of the camera as well, such as the limited edition gold Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Game Boy camera, and the Koro Koro pocket camera that uses art from the manga, oh god, Bakuso Kyodai Let's and Go? You guys, I don't know. And Gakyu o Yamazaki. I do not know how to speak Japanese unless Shinu no ga Iwa is playing or Oh Nano Kohashimimashita Kami-sama Kiss. Anyway, moving on. That leads us to the actual lost media of this topic, the unreleased Hello Kitty Game Boy camera. Just like the previous 2 special edition pocket cameras, a Hello Kitty themed attachment was in the works. Both the Kitty themed camera and printer were advertised along with the Pocket Hello Kitty, which was a tiny video game almost reminiscent of a Tamagotchi. This game was released, but was only made available in Japan. Anyway, after the Hello Kitty pocket camera and printer were advertised, we were left with radio silence on the matter, and unfortunately, it was quickly forgotten. That is another weird way of this being leaked until the 2018 to 2020 Nintendo Microsoft data breach. This occurred when a British security research hacker broke into both Microsoft and Nintendo's servers. Even after this man was arrested, I'm not laughing at him being arrested, even after this man was arrested, it is widely believed that his friends continued to leak the stolen information on 4chan, of course it's 4chan, which is supposedly how the Hello Kitty pocket camera was brought back to light. So about the canceled product itself. This version is known to be quite different than the other releases, such as completely different menus and minigames. Like the others, you can take, edit, and share photos, as that was the main point of this accessory. But supposedly, other Sanrio characters were planned on being added, such as Pom Pom Purin and Bads Maru, who was actually specifically being used for an error screen, which I feel like is really cool and such a good idea. The typical minigames featured in the other pocket cameras were swapped out for Hello Kitty original minigames, where you could earn Kit, which was the kitty currency that actually matches that of the Pocket Kitty currency. There was also an option called the Strawberry Channel, in which you could watch little stop motions of Hello Kitty, or you could simply watch the credits roll. We have one photo of the camera itself, and it is attached to a Hello Kitty Game Boy, which I was so worried this was lost media as well, but I quickly found out this was actually released, so I would die for it. I think it's so cute. Anyway, moving on. Littlest Pet Shop prototypes. So I actually created a whole section for this topic in my Littlest Pet Shop deep dive, but that was a couple months ago and there's more of you now, so I wanted to go over it because I just find it so interesting. So if this section sounds almost identical to what I did in my deep dive, that's because it almost is. Also, that video was really long. It was like 45 minutes, so it is possible that a lot of people didn't even get to that part. If you don't know, Littlest Pet Shop is a toy line that was first released in the early 90s, but were later redesigned into the more well-known figures in 2005. The franchise consists of little animals with big eyes and bobbleheads until its discontinuation in 2020. But that was after many, many years of quality decline, but that's not what we're talking about today. If you want to know more about that, you can watch the deep dive. The series has since made a comeback in 2024, but that is a topic for another time. Next week, maybe? I don't know. Today, we will be discussing unreleased prototypes. Prototypes are initial designs that were scrapped or changed before production. These are not meant to be mistaken for factory errors, which are just one-off mess-ups from the factories making the toys. Prototypes are intentional designs that just didn't make the cut. Many mistakes have been made by the franchise, using photos of prototypes in promotions and advertisements, when technically these pets don't exist. I honestly find it shocking just how how many times this has happened, so let's go over a few. I will be using numbers to refer to the pets because there are so many Littlest pet shops, so we use numbers to identify them, I guess. LPS Greyhound 2526 is shown to be beige and white on the collector's pamphlet, but was released to be light blue. This is a huge mistake. Many prototype pets are so similar to the released pet that you probably wouldn't even notice, especially on first glance, but 2526 is so painfully different from the prototype. 675, one of the most iconic Littlest pet shops, is shown on a pamphlet to have white around her nose. Some actually like this design better since she has white on her bottom half, so it kind of looks like it's meant to be there, but she was released without that. There are countless encounters of prototypes on collector's pamphlets, and I just find it super ironic because the collector's pamphlets are literally there to show you the pets that you could buy. So I think it's funny just how badly the editors messed this up by showing pets that you literally cannot get. There's a great video all about prototypes by CCR Television, so I highly recommend watching that if you find this interesting. There are also secret mystery pets that were advertised but were simply never sold. Like, it's not like they were changed to look differently. I'm pretty sure the number even skips. This includes Mouse 756 that was included as a sticker back in 2008. The fact that it actually has a number attached to it heavily implies it was supposed to be sold as a pet, but nothing of the sort was ever created. The same goes for Cocker Spaniel 757, released as a sticker, but never as a physical pet. I think the most logical explanation was these two were supposed to be sold as a duo pack, especially considering their numbers are right next to each other. So maybe that pack was just scrapped, but someone forgot to remove the stickers of them. So I'm sure many fans were left wondering, where are these pets and how do I get them? One of the weirdest cases of mystery pets is Destiny's evil twin. Let me explain. If you don't know, I have a whole section about LPS Tube in my deep dive, but it basically is just what people refer to. My dog is making all kinds of noises. It's basically what people call Littlest Pet Shop YouTubers. So one of the more popular LPS tubers at the time, LPS Hannah, made a skit called Destiny's Evil Twin. The videos included her channel mascot, 1313, and a mysterious odd lookalike. Not much is known about this pet at all because it has no number. It is heavily theorized to be a prototype, although there's no real way of proving this. Even LPS Hannah herself has said she does not know where this came from. I think logically speaking, this could just be a custom because a lot of people make custom Littlest pet shops. They just paint over the molds. Anyway, moving on. The last topic for today is Stage Debut. Stage Debut was a Nintendo game set to be released on the GameCube and was in production from 2002 to 2004 when it was ultimately cancelled. This is actually two lost media cases in one because it was supposed to be released with the Game Eye, which was intended to be the successor to the Game Boy camera from a few entries ago. It came full circle, I love that. The Game Eye would have been used to take photos of your face and import them into the game using the Game Boy Advance cable. The game also allowed you to add other Nintendo characters from different franchises such as Animal Crossing, Pikmin, and Mario. It seems like this would have been done using the Game Boy Advance's e-reader and scanning the character card. Stage Debut was first announced at E3 2002 and was shown more in depth at E3 2003. This is where many photos and videos are from. Although the game never came out, most likely because the Game Eye didn't come out, it's clear that it influenced later Nintendo projects, such as the Mii's coming out on the Wii not too long after. In 2008, Shigeru Miyamoto confirmed this by stating that Stage Debut was, quote, "in my mind, still alive." Honestly, this game looks really funny, and there were fans looking forward to it. I guess it makes sense it was never released, as in order to play, you kind of needed a lot of items. You needed the GameCube, you needed the Game Boy Advance, you needed the cable, you needed the Game Eye, and then you needed the actual Stage Debut game on top of all that. Maybe Nintendo thought it simply wouldn't be worth it and probably pretty costly. What do you guys think? Would you like to see something like Stage Debut in the future, or is it kind of old news? I think without Stage Debut, we wouldn't have what we have now. So for that, thank you, Stage Debut. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!